Hello, everybody. So, Hone here, and I am going to be talking today about growing your business. I always get so nervous when these lives happen because I don't necessarily know what I'm going to say. I click the button, and it's like, all right, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to put yourself out there. Because the thing that I learned early on was that the only thing that creates results is action. And so without action, no results. And I am a man of results. I want results in my life because it's results that change your life. So anyway, I hit live and here we are. Let's talk about how to grow your business. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about is not being an undercover real estate investor. So let's say real estate investing is your business, and apply this to anything that you're doing. Whether you're a food cart, or you're making food platters, or you're real estate investing, or you're a real estate agent, or you're a lender, or whatever your business is. Number one, do not be undercover. I absolutely hate when I hear people say, I'm moving in silence. Yeah, and so is your business. Your business isn't making any noise. It's not growing. Have you ever heard of the concept called marketing? Right? Marketing is trying to get people to hear about your business, because if people don't know that you're in business, then they're not going to buy from you. So stop moving in silence like you're doing something like, oh, I don't want to be spotted by the big guys, because if the big guys know what I'm doing, they're going to crush me. No, they're not. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. They're all about creating their own business. So stop moving in silence. Let the world know what you're doing. So if you're trying to grow your business, rule number one, let everybody know. Stop being an undercover real estate investor. Stop being an undercover entrepreneur. Stop being an undercover business owner. And that is how your business will grow. If you keep moving in silence, then your business will stay silent. All right, so the next part, and this one irritates me, right? I need you guys to treat the people who invest in you as if they are gold or platinum or the most valuable thing in the world. So what sometimes happens is that you may hire somebody, or you may be working with somebody, and they completely neglect you or your business or whatever it is that you're trying to do. So an example is a contractor. So a lot of my friends who are real estate investors, they run into bad contractors, and the contractor sells them on the dream. Oh, I can do this for you, I can do that for you, whatever, right? They sell you on everything, and then they're nowhere to be found. They talk such a good game beforehand. Oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can do, and they don't deliver. They don't deliver. And then what happens is, the investor that hired that contractor, tells their friends, who tell their friends, who tell their friends, and then it's all of a sudden you can't get work anymore because nobody trusts you, or you constantly have to find new work, and that's exhausting. Wouldn't it be easier if you did one deal, or you did something with somebody, and then they loved it, and then they just hired you again? Like, that's so much easier. That's so much easier. You gotta treat people the way you want to be treated. You have to treat people the way they want to be treated. Let me adjust that one more time. You have to treat them better than they want to be treated. One way to do that, communication. Make sure you communicate with the people that you're working with. Let's say you're a lender, right? Or let's say you're working with a lender, somebody lends you money, and you run into issues. Well, communicate with them. Make sure that they know what's going on in your business, right? Let them know that you're hitting a hiccup, and this is your plan to rectify the whole situation, right? The worst thing to do is just leave people in the dark, because if you leave them in the dark, they think the worst. So communicate. If you're a contractor and you're hitting a bump, communicate. If you are a supplier, communicate. Whatever it is, just communicate with people. They understand that life happens, that business happens. So communicating is one of the best things you can do with anybody you're working with, right? So if you're interested in growing your business, well, instead of constantly having to find new business, get repeat business. And how do you get repeat business? Just deliver really, really good service. Deliver a really, really good product. And if you can't deliver it the way you sold it, be in communication and adjust. what it is how you're going to deliver it. Let them know. And by letting them know, they're like, okay, I get it. I get that. All right, cool. So now we talked about delivering on this service or product, right? We talked about delivering service or product. One of the things that you have to do is you have to master your craft. Mastering your craft. So it depends on what your craft is. Now, in this context right now, my craft that I'm trying to better is my speaking ability, my public speaking, me giving a speech right now, me talking to you live, whatever, delivering value to you. My job is to hone my craft, master my craft. And so what I'm doing is, as I'm speaking, and this is good for you guys, if you're interested in public speaking, I'm going to let you know what's going on through my head as I'm doing it. So when I'm speaking to you, I'm not just randomly talking. I'm thinking about, am I saying words that are landing to you? Do you understand it? Now, I can't see you, obviously, but I'm thinking to myself the whole entire time, is it landing? Are the words that I'm using too complex? Or are they simple enough for you to grasp? Is it entertaining? Am I telling an entertaining story, or am I just rambling? Am I taking too long for a topic? So all of these things are running through my mind as I'm speaking to you. And that way I know that if I need to move on, then I move on because I'm being conscious of my time. So I got to master my craft. And so for you guys, master your craft. I don't know what your business is, but step number one, know what your business is. I was talking to a girl the other day. And she said, oh, I want to get into real estate and I want to own all these rental properties, right? I want to own all these rental properties. I want to do that. And I said, okay, great. How much money do you need? How much money do you need in a month? Or how much money do you spend a month? And she said $4,000. And I said, well, if you're going to do rental properties the way you're describing with the single family rentals and all of that, it's going to take you a little while to come up with $4,000. You got to figure out how to sell, girl. You better learn how to sell. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah, because it's easy to sell $4,000 worth of stuff versus trying to collect $4,000 in rental income. That takes a little while. So figure that out, right? And then what you're going to have to do is you're going to pick something. You got to pick something to sell. By picking something to sell, then you know what you need to master. You get to learn about how to sell it, how to show people the benefits and not just the features. Benefit versus feature. Features like, oh, this car has 500 horsepower. All right. I mean, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. And if you don't know anything about cars and you don't know anything about horsepower, you don't know. That's a feature. What's the benefit? This car will make you feel good when you step on the pedal because it is fast. That's the benefit. It feels exciting. You feel alive when you drive this thing. That's the benefit. Sell the benefit. Right? So you got to know what your product is. You got to know what your service is. And once you just determine that, then you can build your craft. You can work on yourself to sell that thing. So master your craft. That's important to grow your business. If you don't have a business yet, then you got to figure out what that business is. And a lot of people, they've never been in business before. You guys might be watching this because you're interested in starting a business, not just growing a business. And you're like, yeah, I'm trying to grow a business from zero to something, right? So if you're at zero, that's fine. Just know that whatever it is that you're doing, it's going to be sales of some sort. And now that seems like a dirty word. People hate the word sales. You shouldn't, because sales is how two people exchange. Two people exchange money for value, right? And money is value to the other person. So if I were to put together a coaching course or a coaching program where you came to me and you learned everything from A to Z on how to invest in real estate, right? And I'm actually thinking of putting together something like that, but you learned everything from A to Z in a short amount of time. I just give you a crash course. Because you go to that course, you get to learn, right? You get to learn how to become a real estate investor. You get to learn how to buy all these properties. And when you learn that, you get to change your life. You get to set up your life so much better. You're like, well, that's worth this much money. So I was willing to exchange my time and give you that service for your money. So sales is not a bad thing because the person who's giving you the money, they were looking for that solution. So don't feel so bad about selling something. It seems like that's such a bad word, and I hate that that's such a bad word. It shouldn't be. Don't think of it as sleazy sales. Think of it as I am adding value to people and they are showing me through their money their appreciation of the service I just delivered. Right? It's a big difference. If you can have your brain like absorb it that way, like, oh, they're just showing me their appreciation and they just happen to want to do it with money. Great. Then it's not sleazy sales, it is appreciation, right? So your job, go out there and get as much appreciation as you can, right? Get as much appreciation as you can. All right. So now, when you're going out there and you have this business, right? You're like, okay, Hone, I figured it out. I am going to sell people on how to write a book. Like, I'm an English major and I'm really good at English and writing and this and that. And I noticed that a lot of people want to learn how to write a book, or they want to write a book. I'm going to show them through a course on how to write a book. But at first you're timid. You're just like, I'm not sure if anybody's going to buy my course. I'm blah, right? And you got this weird thing. And so you're talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, I'm kind of interested. And you're like, yeah, I got this program. You can buy my program and then maybe you'll learn how to write a book. Like, if you come off like just scared, like a little brand new baby deer just born, nobody's going to want to buy that. Nobody's going to hire you for that. You have to go in there like you own the building. It's like, welcome to my place, right? I hear you want to write a book. Well, get my program. It'll show you how to write a book. That confidence is sexy. People are looking to hire somebody to solve their problem. What they need as well, though, is to feel confident that you are the one who's going to solve the problem. Imagine if you were about to go to jail and the lawyer that you needed to keep you out of jail. Imagine that lawyer just seemed like he didn't know what he was talking. He or she didn't know what they were talking about. And they were very unconfident, you would be like, I don't know if you're the right person for me. Or even worse, what if you were about to go to surgery and the doctor just was like, wait, I gotta cut you open? Like, you're like, oh, not my doctor. Have confidence in yourself. Have confidence. They say fake it till you make it. I don't like that one. A better one that I've heard recently was face it until you make it, right? Face it. So if you're not like arrogantly confident, if you're not this person who busts in a room and it's just like, I'm your person, right? I'm your guy. If you're not that person, then you have to come in a different way. You have to find where your energy can exude confidence. You don't want to be someone you're not. Now, when I come into a room, I have a lot of energy, and when I'm talking to people, I'm painting a vision for them, right? And I'm talking in all these different ways. There are people who look towards me for coaching and for guidance and for leadership. And then when I tell them to go out and sell, I notice that they try to imitate how I am. And it's like, oh, they're doing this. And they're doing, like, physically, they're doing everything that I'm doing. But you can tell that it's not them. It's not authentic. So face it until you make it. I'm going to tweak it a little bit, right? So have your face. Have your genuine self, your authentic self, create the success that you need. If you're not a big, energetic person, don't be. Sometimes you just being calm and saying, hey, I can help you write a book, or hey, I can do that surgery for you, or hey, I can keep you out of jail. And this is why I know that I'm the person for you. And you can come with the energy like this. And as long as you can stay confident internally, you don't have to fake it out here. Just be authentic. Your authentic self, a lot of times, is enough. So be authentic and deliver what it is that you know that you can deliver. Now, one big reason why there's not more entrepreneurs in the world and why everybody feels like they have to have a job and it's risky to not have a job and this, and oh my gosh, it drives me nuts, right? Is that in the world, since we were 5 years old, right? Around 3 to 5 years old is where your memories start. And ever since then, it has been such a, it's like blasphemy to make any mistakes in life. And if you get an F on your report card, that's it. Like, you are shunned. Go find a new family, right? F means go find a new family. That's terrible, because what happens is you grow up in that system of F is bad, F is go find new family, and now you're 25 years old, you're 30 years old, and you've done everything right. You've gone through elementary school, you went to high school, you went to college, you might even gotten your master's degree, your doctorate's degree, you've gotten all of this stuff, right? And you're an adult now. You're an adult, you're a fully grown person, and it's time for you to create a business because you did everything right. You got a job. Here's what happens sometimes, and you might be experiencing this right now. You get a job, and you're working every single day, right? Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. And you ask yourself, like, one day you wake up, like, you're shaving, and you look at yourself in the mirror, and you go, when the heck did I sign up for this? How much longer do I have to do this for? What? Am I going to be doing this for 40 more years? What the heck did I sign up for? I don't want this anymore. I need to go off on my own. I need to go do something bigger and better. I know I have a gift to share with the world, and the way to share that gift is through a business. But I'm scared, because what if I make a mistake? What if I don't make any money? What if I can't pay my bills? What if they foreclose on my house? What if they repossess my car? What if my wife leaves me? What if, right? All of these what ifs. It's so scary because we've been just conditioned that an F means go find a new family. And because that F says go find a new family, you're terrified. You're a grown, like, you're an adult, and you're just terrified. You freeze. You don't take any chances. Don't do that. Because what's going to happen is you're going to live your life, and you're going to keep going to that job that you know that doesn't work for you, but you force yourself because human beings are great at suffering. We are incredible creatures when it comes to suffering. We can endure a lot of pain, and we can put off our own pleasures for a very long time. And what's going to happen is you're going to be 50 or 60 or 70 years old before you know it, and you will have devoted your whole entire life to this job that you knew did not serve you. I'll take that back. It didn't serve your soul. It may have paid your bills, but to just pay your bills is level 1 of living, right? Because you're just eking by, right? That's level 1 of living. But what I've experienced in my own life is that there are many, many levels, and I've gone all up and down all the levels, right? And I've experienced a lot, because the one thing that I fear more than failure is regret. I fear regret more than failure. It's kind of like, what if I go for it and it works big, like better than I could have ever imagined? That I fear missing out on that. People call it FOMO. I just call it, hey, I want to live life to the fullest, and if I make a mistake, if there's a little failure in my life, well, guess what? That little failure, that little mistake will give me more skills, because I will have learned how not to do something, and along the way, I will also learn how to have done it correctly. But if I never go for it, I will never develop the skills that I need. I will never learn how to make things right. I will never learn how much the world has to offer. That's what I'm afraid of. You see it. If you go on YouTube and you follow the right people, you can see what an abundant life looks like. You can see people on yachts and helicopters and expensive cars and big houses, and you can see all these people. And not only that, a lot of people will share their story on YouTube or whatever, and they will often have this from nothing to something, right? From zero to hero story. They will talk about how they used to sleep in their car and eat out of dumpsters and how they had a broken family and all of that. They'll talk about all of that and then tell you exactly what they did to get to where they are. And then now where they are, they have millions in the bank. They have this wonderful family. They give so much money to charity. They hire hundreds of people, thousands of people. They create these companies that cause massive positive changes to the world. They have this life that's like, oh my gosh, they have a truly abundant life. And I'm afraid of missing that because I believe that if they got it, then it's possible for me. It's not easy, right? It's not necessarily easy to get where they are, but I also know that it won't be easy to live with myself if I have a lot of regret in my head and every single day when I'm older that I go, oh man, I should have done this, I should have done that, but I never tried because I was so scared, and what if I failed, right? I'm a real estate investor. For those who don't know, I'm a real estate investor, and I often talk to people about investing in real estate. And I say, why don't you just try one, right? The one property is the gateway drug for you to buy a bunch, right? You buy one, and that's the gateway to a bunch. So when you buy the one, that teaches you what you need to know to buy 2, to buy 4, to buy 10, whatever, right? But then when I tell them about how they should maybe try it, they say, but Hone, what if the toilet leaks? And I'm like, fix it. That they hyper focus on this little problem. So imagine, let me paint you a vision. Imagine you buy one property and you run into a little problem. Toilet leaks, maybe the roof leaks a little bit. You got to repaint it. Tenant moves out. You got to find a new tenant. This tenant doesn't pay. You got to evict. But you're not doing that. You hire an attorney. You hire a plumber. You hire an electrician. You hire a roofer. You hire whoever you need, right? So you buy this one property and you're learning. And then you feel confident enough because you own the one. You're like, well, sometimes stuff happens, but usually it's just a one-day thing. Okay, no problem. So you get that thing fixed, and then 3, 6, 9-month streak of no problems, 12-month streak, no problems, right? So you're like, okay, I deal with this one problem, 12 months, no problems. Okay, cool. So then you get another property and another property, another property. And before you know it, you have 20 properties, right? You have 20 properties and you're looking at your portfolio and you go, how did I ever get here? I own 20 properties, and these 20 properties, they equal millions of dollars. Like, how did I... Wow, right? And you just look back and you just say to yourself, like, wow. You can't stop saying, wow, this is my life that I built, right? So that's your life, okay? That's your life today. You own 20 properties, $1 million worth of properties. You got all this rental income. You feel fantastic, and you're just amazed by what you were able to create because you went for it, right? So that's story A. And now story B, let's focus on how most people hear the story. Hey, why don't you buy the one property? And they go, oh, no. What if the toilet leaks? What if the toilet leaks? Okay, then don't buy it. And they're like, yeah, that's a good idea. I won't buy it, right? Because that toilet might leak. Okay, cool. So you go to work. And guess what? That's the end of the story. There's nothing else there. There's no wow. There's no amazement. There's no nothing. You just keep going to work. Like, that's it. And that might be okay for you, but it's not okay for me. Because I know what people have done in this world. I have seen the abundance. I have seen the good life. I have seen people who have these amazing lives. Now, I have seen my own life. I look in the mirror and I go, wow, right? I look in the mirror and I go, how did I achieve what I achieved? How is it that I have been able to accomplish this? How did I acquire all of these properties? How is it that I dictate my life? How is it that I get to wake up whenever I want, do what I want with whoever I want? How is it that when a friend of mine's like, hey, do you want to go on a bike ride on a Wednesday? I can say yes. How is it that when my wife wants to go on vacation, I can just say yes? I don't check in with anybody. I don't check the bank accounts. I don't do any of that. I just say yes, right? Now, mind you, I'm very frugal, right? I'm not out there spending money like crazy. I'm not really materialistic like that. But I do enjoy being able to say yes to whatever it is that I do actually want. If I actually want it, I love being able to just say yes, I'll take it. Right? It's like that to me is amazing. That to me is amazing. And that's there, but I know there's another level to that, right? Because what if I wanted, like, let's say I wanted to go out and I wanted to buy a $5 million yacht. I want to be able to say yes if that's what I actually want. And right now, I can't say that, right? I can't say that. What if I wanted to buy the $300,000, $500,000 exotic sports car? I can't say that yet, right? But I know that if I continue to grow my business, right? If I continue to grow my business, that is a possibility that I will have. And I am afraid that if I don't continue to grow my business, if I don't continue to go for it, if I don't continue to master my craft, if I don't continue to tell people about what I'm doing, that I'm not going to create the business that I want to be able to say yes to all of that. So my big thing is regret. But for most people, they have this failure that they're so afraid of. I'm afraid of regret. You're afraid of failure. It's the same mechanism, but the results are completely different. One causes me to move forward and one causes you to stay back, right? So you have to be very careful with your thoughts. Think about that for a second. Think about what I just said right now. It's the same mechanism. The mechanism is fear, right? The mechanism within that is causing us to do or don't do is fear. But I fear regret. I fear missing out on this amazing thing that we have called life. This life is super abundant. Just look around at people that you may know, or if you need more inspiration, go look at rich people on YouTube and listen to their story and listen to the ones where they were like, I was dead broke and I made it. If they can do that, you can do that, right? Your story may not be as bad as theirs, but they just took the action. So the mechanism, fear. But my fear is of regret. I fear regret. I fear of missing out. You fear failure because you're afraid that you're gonna have to find a new family if you fail, right? The letter F, that's that failure. You're so scared that that's going to ruin your life. And so then you just do what you've been doing. Maybe that's not actually what you want if you take a step back and take a look at it. In terms of failure, though, people get so afraid of losing money, and then if they do lose money in whatever that it is that they're doing, they feel like they have to make that money back from that. So if you create a business, let's say you were selling T-shirts, and for whatever reason, like you printed a whole bunch of T-shirts, they didn't sell, and you feel like you failed, you have this big loss, or the printer printed a whole bunch and they got all messed up. You feel like a failure, and then you're like, nope, I'm just gonna figure it out. I'm gonna print more shirts and I'm gonna do this. Like, you don't have to stick to just that plan A. You can create money from another source. Like, you can create a different business and then a different business and a different business, and you can try as many as you want. You don't have to fix what was messed up in that same vehicle. As an example, if you lost a whole bunch of money playing blackjack, you don't have to make up the money from the blackjack table. Like, if you lost $2,000, you don't have to make $2,000 from the blackjack table. You can get up and you can go start a business and you can make $5,000. And as a whole, you're up $3,000, right? So if you lost from one, you can make it up from somewhere else. You don't have to stay wherever you are, right? You don't have to stay wherever you are. So just be mindful that if you're trying to grow a business and this one maybe isn't the right one, like, don't be so fixated on having to make this one work so that you don't feel like a failure. Again, we're going back to this failure thing. I find this failure thing is so just terrible because it's just like it just wraps people up and it's just in them and they can't move. Right? And if they do move, they do stupid things like they get stuck and then they just feel like they can't go out there and change things. I don't know, whatever. Let me see my next point. I'm getting stuck on my next point. But my next point, right? If you're growing your business, eventually you may have some traction. And with that traction, you keep mastering your craft, you keep beating on your craft, you get better at what you're doing, you're delivering a product or service that people like, and they continue to want to work with you because you treat people better than they want to be treated. You stay in communication with them, right? You have this fantastic relationship with them. What's cool is you become what's called an A player. You become somebody that other people seek out. And when that happens, people give you money quicker. Right? People give you money for your service without you having to sell them on it. It's like they already know your story. They already know what you're about. So they're interested in giving you the money. They're interested in hiring you because they already know what you do, right? This is that don't move in silence junk, right? Like I hate that. Let people know what you do. Move with a marching band, right? Have people understand what it is that you do so they know how to work with you. They know that they want to hire you, right? So what happens is you become an A player, and then other A players want to work with you too, and then together, a whole bunch of A players coming together, you guys get to create amazing things, right? You get to create amazing businesses. But you have to start. You have to try first. You have to go out there and not be so afraid of making mistakes. You just got to go. You got to create the business. You got to be okay with getting into business. And you got to be okay that people may judge you, right? You got to be okay with all that kind of stuff because really it's your life. There's a super abundant life that you get to live, right? Super abundant life that you get to live, but you don't get to have any of that if you're so scared about everything, right? If you're so scared about everything. Now, we got a comment here. Let me add the comment to the screen, right? Failure is not a part of a winner's vocabulary. I want to say that failure, I mean, they may call it something else. You might be clever. It's like, oh, it's not losing, it's learning or something like that, right? Success and winners, like they know failure is a part of it. And let me explain a little bit. Because I'm just freestyling here, right? So let me talk about that point just a little bit. So a lot of people in the real estate business, they do this thing called mailers. They will write, I want to buy your house, and they'll mail you this piece of paper that says, I want to buy your house. Well, if they didn't think that there was going to be some part of failure within their business, then they would only send out the one mailer to you, right? Because they're like, that one's a winner, right? But no, absolutely not. They know that failure is a part of it, right? So that's why they send out thousands of mailers in hopes for like a dozen responses, because they know most of that will fail. They know most of the mailers would just get thrown in the trash. So failure is absolutely a part of it. But I love this quote. This is probably one of my favorite quotes. Let me see if I can remember it. Losers lose because they expect to always win. Okay? Losers lose because they always expect to win. Winners win because they expect to lose. All right? Losers lose because they always expect to win. Winners win because they expect to lose. The mailer is an idea where you send out 1,000, you're expecting back 10. You know that most of them are going to lose, but the 10 you get back might equal thousands and thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of product, right? If somebody says yes, they want to sell the house, and create it so that it's a deal, that could boost your net worth by hundreds of thousands of dollars if it's the right deal, right? So despite having thousands of losers, the winner, that person who did that, they're winning. They've increased their net worth by hundreds of thousands despite having so many losses. A loser will lose because they expect that they're always going to win. So they're not going to send out thousands of mailers. They're going to send out 10, and they're going to think they're going to get a response. Like, oh, I'm going to send out 10. And then when they don't get a response, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe those all lost. I can't believe I didn't get a response. This doesn't work. I quit. And so then they lose, right? That's why losers lose. Losers lose because they always expect to win. Winners win because they expect to lose. Just kidding. We got another comment here. Failure is always necessary for success. Yeah, it's just a part of it. Failure is just a part of the success. Losers don't understand that. They think they're always going to win, and because they think they're always going to win, or they can't handle not winning, they will ultimately lose. Right? They will ultimately lose because what happens is they don't try. And if you don't try, you then live a life where it's not the life you chose actively. You just kind of settled for it. And then you have all of this regret at the end. And that regret at the end is that ultimate loss that I am so deathly afraid of. I'm so deathly afraid of. Okay, well, what I want you guys to do, if you guys anything from this message, right? I want you guys to just realize that you should always bet on yourself. Always bet on yourself. You are going to be the best investment. People are always asking me, Hone, what's a good investment? And if you're interested in asking me directly, you can email me, hone@honesloans.com. But a lot of people are like, Hone, what is the best investment that I can do? And I say, look in the mirror and invest in that person that you see in your reflection, right? That person right there in your reflection, that person is your best investment, because that's the person that is going to buy the business. That person's going to buy the real estate. That person's going to raise the money. That person's going to structure a deal. That person's going to do the syndication, right? That person's going to master their craft. The world is so abundant that there's enough for you. But if you don't bet on you, nobody else will either. Nobody's going to give this to you, right? You're not going to be given an opportunity. You have to go out there and find it. You don't have to take it and all that. You don't have to do any of that like strong wording. But there's plenty of opportunity. The world is so abundant, and it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't realize that, because it really is. It really is. There's enough for you. There's just not enough people asking. So go ask, right? Go ask. There was a quote where the person's like, the abundance of the world is like the ocean, but most people go to the ocean with a tablespoon and not a bucket, right? They go with a cup when they really should be bringing like a massive trash bag or something. Like, they got to fill it up. There's enough for you out there. But if you're too scared to play the game, you're not going to play the game, and you're never going to win the game. You're never going to be rewarded all of the prizes that this world has to offer. So bet on yourself, play big, don't be so scared, fear regret, master your craft, treat people better than they want to be treated. Don't be an undercover real estate investor. Don't do that dumb thing when I hear people saying that they move in silence. Get out there, let the world know who you are. Be confident in your own way. You don't necessarily have to be loud. You just have to be confident. You have to let people know what your message is. People will seek you out when you become an A player. So master your craft until you become that A player. And if you make a mistake, learn from it, grow from it, develop the skills so you don't make that mistake again. But again, just always bet on you. There's no better bet. There is no better bet. Unless you're betting on me. I'm a pretty good bet. So if you want to bet on me, that's a good bet too. But if you're not going to bet on me, then bet on you at the very least. All right, guys. Well, if you like this video, please share this. Hopefully, you get to learn something from this. You get to share it with other people. They get to learn something from this. We all live in a better world, because then there would be more entrepreneurs because they're ready to give it a shot. Also, if you guys are interested in checking me out at Truth About REI, REI stands for Real Estate Investing. All right, Truth About Real Estate Investing. So you're interested in learning about real estate investing, go to Truth About Real Estate Investing, or rei.com, truthaboutrei.com. Again, my name is Hone, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.